Whenever our needs and desires were deprived or even suppressed, frustrations, a sense of abandonment, or rejections ensue. We discussed this last time. We thrive and survive, yet at times it could be maladaptive. It happened to me, and I wasn't aware how bad it was. Though I know I was angry and broken, yet I played tough. Then in my dreams, the unconscious tried to pick on me. When I don't get it, the dream keeps on coming back. Recurrent dreams. I had this dream when I was a child, and this is the scenario. I was walking down the aisle inside the church. Then at the altar, waiting was a woman dressed in a pink wedding gown. It was supposed to be my wedding. I was only 9. I woke up crying. I feel so heavy inside, yet numb, and could hardly breathe. Every time this always happens. And sometimes when I woke up, parang I'm still in the dream. And then I remember one time I was running. And then I was in the middle of the sleep. It's like I was running and I was still sleeping and I was crying. That was the scenario of this. And then it always happens. And it was like a haunting dream. I do not know, but it feels like so real. And I just don't like that idea. I'd make this decision. I will just let the dream continue and not panic. When it comes back again, that the same dream, I just keep myself calm. I did not panic. I was still asleep. And then I let it pass. And then when I reached at the altar, the woman just looked at me. Nothing happens. And then I woke up. Ganun lang. And then after that, the dream never comes back to me. So what could be the meaning of that? I believe that the meaning was that I have to look into the feminine within me because nga, I was always being bullied as a child, that people were teasing me because of my effeminate ways. And this happens during the early puberty na because I think maaga akong nagbinata. I was only 9 years old and I remember at the time I had crushes with women. But then I do not know. I don't understand why my uncle, my classmates, and my playmates were teasing me bakla. And so maybe that's the reason why I was scared of the feminine in me. And I think the woman there is a symbol of my femininity. And Carl Jung calls this the anima. And for every male, there is always the woman inside. And then for every woman, there is the masculine in them. So that is the animus for the woman. Anima was my female self. And then it's like the dream was telling me, you have just to accept it, embrace it. But at least it was the start for me to recognize the feminine in me. And I wasn't scared anymore to look at her in me. So I was not scared to recognize the feminine in me. Although after that dream, I started having limerence for young celebrity men. Nagkakrush na ako. Ngayon mga lalaki naman. And that I even buy magazines with them in their cover. But the good thing is that I was imitating the way they look, the way they talk. I started to become aware of my looks then. Then I went to the gym and started taking care of my build as well as eating healthy, which of course made me feel good, and people started to notice and gave me a compliment. Ganda lalaki daw. So that's good, di ba? And I was growing up then. Maybe the unconscious in my dream was telling me that the feminine in me wants me to take care of myself and appreciate the beauty in me. Because beauty is a feminine quality, di ba? And the way to achieve this is using my strength. That's why I went to the gym. And that strength, si malakas, is a masculine quality. I'll share you another recurring dream. And this happened several months ago, so most recent na ito. I was traveling by plane. Suddenly, the captain announced that there was a turbulence and the plane need to have a crash landing. Dapat natakot ako, no? Pero in the dream, I was not takot. I wasn't scared. So, I was just calm. Kalma lang. It had a hard landing. Parang di ko naman na-feel doon. We were instructed to leave everything behind and deboard the plane immediately. So, I follow. As I am board the plane, another plane was already waiting for us. And so we boarded that plane. In the middle of the flight, again, the captain speak and said the same thing. There's turbulence and then we need to have a hard landing. O sige, follow na lang. And then they told us to be ready for another hard landing. So, ayun, baba na naman kami. Then it keeps on repeating the same scenario on the same dream, until the final one when the plane landed on top of a mountain. Napagod na ako siguro. So then the captain told us to unboard and leave our carry-on luggage behind. Siguro, ewan ko, parang hindi na rin siguro ako naniniwala, napagod na. Instead, hindi ako sumunod sa captain. I just grabbed my carry-on luggage. Then I remember, in the dream, how come I have my carry-on luggage here? I thought I left it from the other plane. Ay, basta. Naglakad na lang ako along the aisle. Then pagkatapos, bigla nagbago yung paligid. Akala ko ba nasa loob ako ng plane? Why? I was already inside a beautiful place, you know. Para siyang palasyo na nasa pagitan ng dalawang mountains. It was a big open edifice in between ravines, and then at the back of that ravine, there's a beautiful water flow. Maganda yung place. Sabi ko, ayoko malis dito. Maganda eh. Then tapos maraming mga free items daw yun. And then we just can pick up one. Ganun, sabi ko, nakita ko magagandang mga damit doon. Mga t-shirt. Mahilig ako sa t-shirt. So, I stayed there. I linger around and said, I want to pick up something here. Anyway, it's free. Mahilig ako sa free. I like free items. Then, suddenly, ayun na naman si Captain. May boses na naman at sabi, we have to deboard again and then leave the baggage, leave everything behind. Ay, nako, I got tired. Sabi ko, paulit-ulit na naman to. Then pagkatapos na naman, may another plane na naman doon at susunduin na naman kami. Nag-stay lang ako doon. I just stayed there. And then, the captain told us, leave everything behind. There's a tornado coming in. It's like I didn't believe. And then suddenly, the tornado came. And then, I woke up. So, instead, I just started and lingered there. No? Kahit na, even if I heard the captain telling us to go. When I woke up, I said, it's good. It's only a dream. But the feeling was there. Yung bang, at the end of that, I feel scared, of course. Yung bang, I was worried. But then, when I get up, I was so thankful. Now, in this dream, the unconscious was telling me about my life story. Parang it's reminding me of what happened to me in the past. You know? That I always fall to the same pitfall. I survive, but until when ako magsusurvive? It warns me, you should know the red flag and not fall again. Paulit-ulit kasi di ba? So the dream was actually like a warning. It's like a prophecy of what could happen to me. And it's simply because the unconscious knows me and knows what is happening. Ano? The unconscious was telling me, you should know the red flag already. The dream was probably warning me of an ex trying to hover. May gustong bumabalik, nagpaparamdam. Ako naman, siyempre, I still have that feeling for him. And yet, I think the dream, the unconscious me was telling me, oops, beware. And then I was entertaining the guy, and then nakakaawa kasi eh. Yan ang hirap sa atin pag naawa, ano? Mafo-fall na naman. Then another dream came to me. In that dream, it says that I was in bed with my handsome cousin, OMG. In the dream, he was my lover. I felt weird and worried kasi that's incest. We were both naked in bed. Then suddenly, I saw that the doorknob was broken. Hala. My aunt caught us in action. Huli. I told her not to worry because we have broke up. And then he was surprised looking at me. I just look at him and my eyes telling him, sorry, and this shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Then I wake up. I felt weird because the dream made me feel uncomfortable. First of all, because he's my cousin. He's not my ex, you know. But I think the cousin in my dream represents my ex. Maybe my unconscious has no courage to tell me, your ex is like this. And so my unconscious is speaking to me through symbols. So my unconscious uses my cousin to make me realize that it's wrong. It's wrong to go back to that narcissist. Well, my ex was special to me, just like as my cousin is special to me because he's my relative. Though me and my ex broke up, I still have feelings for him. But I saw the red flags. So I need to put boundaries. And then, hindi pwede. It has to stop. And then, the good thing is our last conversation, because he likes to Uber and I don't want. And so I told him, and then he started swearing at me. I said, oh, ayan na naman. So it's the same toxic behavior. Hovering, red flag again. Nasabi ko, I don't want to be put into the same situation again. So good. You know? Then, I remember both dreams, these two dreams. And I remember during those times, whenever I have a hard time with him, I think my only way of, the way I find salvation in that is the way I find peace, because I couldn't detach myself from him at the time. I prayed a lot. I talked to God about it. And I told him, just please take away this feeling of being so much in love with this guy that I couldn't break loose from him. And then until such time when I was already fed up. And then I thank God I had the courage to leave him. I found a new friend, who was able to help me out of this. So ayun, kaya I'm very thankful to that friend. And then from then on, I try to focus myself into this hermitage and helping also people who were also in the same situation. And then it was only this time that I started to go back again into studying psychology, because I've studied psychology already before coming here to Canada. And during those times, I was already doing some counseling with my friends. And I just do not know how come I forgot almost everything about yung psychology until it was able to help me in befriending myself, accepting myself, and even bringing me out of that relationship. So another dream, but this one is not mine, but someone else who asked me to help him interpret the dream. He was seeing his lover in the dream. I also had similar dreams before, but I'd like to talk about this. So recently, this dream teller was telling me that he has parted with his lover, and there was no closure except for some text messaging. So in the dream, they made love and were happy together. When he woke up, he felt so happy. He says, the dream looks so real. It happened not only once to him, but many times, he says. And every time that it happens, he feels bliss. He says, I helped him interpret the dream and he says that he was lonely, and then experiencing the dream, he felt that the loneliness is healed, and maybe he was dreaming of that because he was lonely and always ever thinking of him. So I think the dream tries to compensate for the loss, and then he told me that too, that it was trying to compensate the loss. And it seems in the dream wipes away his longing until he's okay na. Then he told me that the feeling of bliss and peace made him feel well to let go of him. So he started to learn to not to expect anymore, because the guy has other plans, and having a relationship with him could ruin that plan. And the same thing to him too, because he has plans too, and staying in the relationship could be detrimental to his plan. So I told him, you have to make a choice. So what's the choice? So then after that, he feels, I think it is good to let go, even without the closure, and just be happy that he was part of his past, and then that the presence in the past was a gift to him. So just accept it. So itong mga dreams na nakwento ko, these dreams that I told you, is how the dreams is trying to help us. So dreams has functions. So one function is compensatory. Compensatory means that it tries to compensate what is not in us. Kumbaga, compensate for the loss. It is trying to bring balance to our mind. Maybe the mind is suffering, and so the dream is trying to heal what is inside. Another one is that our dream is prospective, simply because the dream is trying to tell us what could happen to us in the future, because the unconscious self already knows who we are. But sometimes when we try to suppress our memories, to suppress our instinct, and then so it will try to pick on us. In our waking time, the unconscious cannot do it. So what the unconscious did was to enter into our dream and tell us. And usually, gaya sabi ko kanina, not directly. In the dream, the unconscious will tell us about ourselves through symbols, through images that we still need to decipher the message, Kaya the messages in the dreams are all in cryptic form. So we need to decipher it, we need to interpret it. And the only ones who can interpret it is you. But it's very important also to have a friend or someone close to you to be able to let you see what's in the dream. Simply because sometimes the conscious mind tries to suppress what was inside, and sometimes it's so difficult for us to accept the reality. And sometimes what we do not know, other people knows. So people can see what happens to us, and then some people could give us that feedback. And especially if those people knows how to do dream analysis, and will be able to help you to see that. So that's how an analyst or a dream analyst could be able to help you. It's not the dream analyst. It's the dream analyst do not make the analysis. The one who makes analysis is you. So that's why, kumusta na? How's your dream? If you haven't made it, please do it, and then I'll try to guide you into analyzing your dream. Now, what's the point in this recollection? The point in this recollection is that all of us have our wants, our needs and desires. And when we suppress it, sometimes it could wreak havoc in our life without being aware of it. Now, to prevent that, we need to go deeper into the unconscious and know what it is so that we can do something. And if the conscious is not open to see it, we have the dreams where the unconscious is attempting to talk to us, to tell us what is happening. These are your wants, these are your unmet needs. And then make your decision. And then, if it is detrimental to you, the dream will keep on coming back. That's why we have recurrent dreams. So, what do you think of this? So, part 4 will bring to conclusion our recollection. In part 4, I will tell you about the importance of ritual. Rituals contains a lot of symbols, but these are symbols done in such a way that it tries also to bring balance to ourselves. So in this ritual, I will explain to you next week its importance, so that we can bring healing to ourselves. So stay tuned for the next session for part 4, so about rituals and healing. I'll see you then.